Hello and welcome to the 23rd Vinny Talk Sings. I'm your host, Vincent LaRose, and today we're coming out of a great sweep of the Royals. The Yankees played very well. They had a lot of clutch hitting, a lot of good two-out hitting, and even today, threw in some good pitching today. So let's talk about it. But anyways, so to start off the video, as always, we'll start with today in Yankees history. So 16 years ago to this day, the Yankees had one of the craziest walk-off hits you'll probably ever see. So in the bottom of the ninth with two outs and a man on first and second, A-Rod comes to bat, down by one with a chance to win the game, and we know how clutch A-Rod is. But he ends up popping it up behind the second baseman, and second baseman Castillo ends up dropping the ball. Just Shara hustles all the way from first and ends up scoring the winning run in a very unlikely win for the Yankees. So against the Mets as well, which makes it that much better. So that is a pretty cool and interesting way. It was 09, so it was the year we won the World Series, and it was the first season in the new Yankee Stadium. So that's pretty cool today in Yankees history. But let's get right into the recap. So to start, Game 1, Fried takes the mound in the opener against the Royals in Kansas City. He goes 7 innings, giving up 6 hits and 2 runs with no walks and 4 strikeouts. He does give up a home run to India later in the game, but cruises past the Royals lineup as he continues his absolutely dominant season. Fried looked good as always. You could really tell when he's deciding to go for the strikeout and he just wants to give up contact. That's why I think he ended up giving up that run to giving up that home run to India. He was just trying to throw strikes and get through the game, and that's why we always see him going deep into games, which is a lot more valuable than people realize. You know, it really helps the bullpen and saves the bullpen. But anyways, let's get into the scoring. So Aaron Judge opens up the scoring as he hits a 2-run bomb. It was a bomb. In the top of the first, it ends up going 469 feet at 117 miles per hour for the seventh longest homer of his career. That ball was destroyed the second he hit it. Everybody knew it was gone. I think it was MLB Network. They were joking around saying he was going to hit a home run, and then he hit that one. So that was that was pretty cool. But and then Austin Wells continues to stay hot as he hits a 3-run homer in the fourth to give the Yankees a 5-1 lead, and then he continues to mash as he picks up another 2 RBIs in the 6th with a 2-out double. Grisham then drives him in with an RBI single, making it 8-1. Aaron Judge then picks up another RBI single, and then Cody Bellinger would finish off a huge 6 with another RBI single of his own, ending the Yankees scoring for the day. The bullpen would come in after Fried, be lights out as well, going from Fried to De Los Santos to Hill, finishing off the 10-2 Yankees Game 1 victory. So the Yankees looked really good this game, pitching and offense. But really the big story to me is Wells. Wells is heating up pretty well, pretty decently. He's 15 for his last 52, which isn't insane. But in those 52 at-bats, he has 3 homers and 14 RBIs. He's hitting .288 over that span, so he's been really good as of late. And yeah, so Austin Wells has been raking. You know, he's good defensively. We all know that, but this was about the same time last year he started to heat up, so he's starting to heat up again, and it's going to be dangerous. So I think after. He didn't play today. Oscar got today, but after yesterday's game, he's over 220 now. So, so that is really good. Anyways, Judge goes back-to-back days with a homer, hitting another homer in Game 1, and Aaron Judge is absolutely insane. He continues to rake, but let's get into Game 2. So Game 2, Schmidt would take the mound and pitch very well, going 6 innings with no earned runs, 7 strikeouts. He does walk 3, which is what it is. But you would like to see him go for a little bit longer in games and give up a little bit less walks. He does walk a lot of guys. He really goes for the strikeout a lot, which I feel like the Yankees pitching staff has been really good this year with trying to get away from just trying to strike out every single guy every at-bat. But for the most part, it's still an extremely productive extremely productive start. Schmidt coming into the season was supposed to be the 5 starter, maybe even possibly be out of the rotation, although it was very unlikely. It looks like Marcus Stroman was going to be the odd man out. But having to step up after coming back from injury and be the 3 guy after Cole gets injured and Heel gets injured is tough, and he's pitched really well. So nothing much more you can say about it. Like I said before, you really only want to see him to get the walks down. It's a little more walks than I think you would like to see. But it's a good pickup from last week because the pitching was horrendous last week. So all around. But the scoring for the Yankees would capitalize on a good top of the second inning with a 5-run second inning. Started with a Volpe RBI after a belly triple, and then Wells stays hot with another RBI double. And then Goldie would get on the board with a 2-run RBI single himself. Rice would get into and hit an RBI single, and then in the 7th, Judge would hit another home run, picking up his 25th homer of the year to end the Yankees scoring for the day. And then the bullpen stays good. Other than Leiter struggled. He giving up 2 earned runs, 1 unearned run as he makes his own throwing error to first base to Goldie, allowing a run to score. But not every guy's going to be great every day, and I know the pitching has been struggling over the past couple of weeks, so one blunder is okay, especially when it's in a 6-0 game, so not too huge. But it would go from Schmidt to Hedrick to Cruz to Leiter, and then Williams would come in the last 2 outs of the 9th after Leiter gives up the 3 runs, and he would pick up the save to give the Yankees a 6-3 win and another series win. So Yankees have continued to stay hot. I know, you lose a series to the Dodgers, and then Boston comes into town. You're expecting to take 2 out of 3 and you lose another series there. But going on the road, and obviously eventually they'd get the sweep here, but picking up the first 2 games after a tough week is really good. I know, the Royals aren't the best team in baseball, but their pitching is good, and we did manage to score a lot of runs. But more about Game 2 though. Schmidt has been really good in his last 7 starts. He has a 2.9 ERA in his last 7 starts. His walk ratio, as you can see, as the season has gone along, his walk strikeout ratio is getting a lot better. He's walking less guys and striking out more. You would like to see that get a little bit better, but he's a 3 starter, so I mean, you're really not upset with how he's been pitching lately. And then, unfortunately, as Schmidt starts to improve, Leiter starts to struggle really bad. Leiter has a 10.8 ERA in his last 7 games, giving up 12 hits and 5 innings of work, 12 hits. So Leiter hasn't been great. Bullpen has struggled a little bit. It feels like once a month, like we get like one guy. We've gotten one guy every single month that has just struggled a lot. So, I know we made some roster moves, but it's looking like Jay Cousins likely isn't coming back. Scott Effers comes back, but they really need to pick up somebody before the trade deadline. They need another strikeout pitcher in the bullpen. But we'll see what happens. But we'll get straight into Game 3. So Warren takes him out at Game 3, trying to help the Yankees pick up the sweep. He goes 5.2 innings, giving up no runs with 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. Bouncing back from a rough couple of starts. So his past 2 starts haven't been the greatest. Going from Colorado to LA, I know Colorado wasn't that bad. He just struggled a lot in the first inning, but he picked it up. But his last couple of starts weren't great, and then picking up a really good start especially on the Yankees kind of punted Game 3. Judge was in the lineup. Reyes, Jazz was sitting for the day because of the groin tightness. So Reyes ends up playing second. So I mean, you take out. It wasn't a great lineup going out there today. So the pitching had to be good, and obviously we only won 1-0. So the pitching was great, and that's exactly what we needed from Warren. So it was a good start. It's nice to see. But the Yankees, like I said, would only score 1 run in the top of the 8th. It was a really weird play. So I'll just start from the inning. So Reyes would lead off the inning with a single. He'd get to second somehow. Not 100% sure. But he ends up getting to second. Goldie would come up with 2 outs and hit a line drive to Pasquantino that hits off the top of his glove. Goldie makes it to first. And Reyes would have scored easily as he was running third, but he trips, kind of doesn't fall completely, but stumbles, tries to go back to third, realizes he was a dead duck, just runs home. Thankfully, Pasquantino makes a bad throw, bounces it, catcher can't handle the ball, and Reyes would end up scoring in just one of the weirdest plays you'll ever see. It was really weird. But, we got the one, and that's all that matters. So the bullpen would come in after Warren and obviously be lights out. Going, 3 1/3, I think it was? Yeah, going 3 1/3. Going from Hill to Leiter to Loizaga to Williams, and as the Yankees complete the sweep and take a 1-0 win. So it was a good series. I saw a lot of good signs with the pitching. The pitching seems to improve. I know we had Fried in Game 1, so you know what to expect there. But Schmidt, I feel like Schmidt and Warren have been very back and forth with their starts. They'll have one really good start, one not so great start. Warren was definitely much worse than Schmidt. Schmidt has shown consistent signs of improvement as the games go on. I know Warren has been kind of inconsistent. So, but it was a good series overall. Obviously, we pick up the sweep, which is exactly what you want, and there's not really much to complain about. So the one thing I want to give the Yankees a lot of props with, they scored a lot of runs with 2 outs this series. So we'd score 17 runs in the 3 games, and we scored 13 of those 17 with 2 outs. The Yankees' 2-out hitting was really good, just putting balls in play at this point. I think only one of Judge's homers came with 2 outs, but it was a lot of singles. Like I said, Wells, who's continued to heat up, has hit 2 doubles with 2 outs to get 4 RBIs throughout the series, along with this 3-run homer. But the 2-out hitting has been very well, and Wells' 3-run homer was with 2 outs as well. So 2-out hitting has been phenomenal. The runners were scoring in position, just putting bat on ball and getting singles was really good as well. I know we got a lot of cheap hits over the first or second base. We got 4 this series, I think. Dominguez hit 2, Judge hit 1, and then Goldie's I wouldn't consider that because it was a line drive, but it did just barely tip off Pasquantino's glove and go into shallow right field. So we were poking the ball a little bit this series, but it doesn't matter whether it's a screamer or a blooper. Hit's a hit and a run's a run. So Yankees did really well with their 2-out hitting, and then I would like to pick up Goldie a little bit. I know he struggled. He seems to struggle the last 2 weeks. I think he was 3 for 31 at one point, but is able to have back-to-back really productive games. I know he only had 1 hit today and 4 at-bats, but he had 2 walks as well. So 500 for the day, and then he had 2 hits yesterday. So putting him at 4 straight games with at least 1 hit. So it looks like he's starting to come out of that slump a little bit, which is really nice. It's obviously what you want to see from Goldie, especially a guy we didn't pick up for much and everybody kind of gave up on. So Goldie continues to improve as well. And like I said, there's really not much to talk about. I know the Royals they're under 500. Obviously going into the series they were 500. They're above 500, but I feel like this is something we expect at least 2 out of 3 for sure when you go in and play a team like the Royals. The pitching, they pitched really well. The offense was, the offense was on point for a lot of the game as well. Just not much you can complain about. Aaron Judge continues to play out of his mind. The guy's the best player on the planet. Even the MLB is starting to finally rank him as the #1 hitter in baseball. So a really fun series to watch and a good series, I feel, after coming out of the Boston series and then going right back into Boston. So the Yankees are going into Boston for the first time in the series, in a weekend series starting tomorrow night. So I really think they need to pick up the series win, because that series last week in Yankee Stadium was rough, and I feel like I know the team's good. Just for confidence, though, they need to go into a hostile environment and win games. They weren't able to do it in LA, and then Boston came in. Then Boston came in to New York and was able to take 2 out of 3 from us as Rafael Devers continued to destroy the Yankees. But they really need to. I feel like against. We're not really good. A lot of the games I watch that are like primetime games, we struggle. So obviously we'll see what happens. But I think they really need to go into Boston and play well. Hopefully, I don't think Stanton's going to be back 100%, but I'll get into the injury roster update. So as we know, Jazz left yesterday's game 2. With some groin tightness, but Aaron Boone already said he's not expected to miss time. He was an emergency hitter for today. He didn't pinch hit. I don't think he pinch hit. And then they said that he's expected back in the lineup for Game 1 of the Boston series. So not much to worry about there. Stanton continues his rehab assignment, going 3 for 7 with 4 RBIs in his first 2 rehab starts. Kind of just, I think they're just waiting. I think he's going to make one more rehab start. 100% for sure, before they decide whether to just bring him back up, because he's just a DH, so I don't feel like he just needs a lot of time down in AA or AAA before he comes back up. But and then actually Marcus Stroman makes his first rehab start, going 3 1/3, and he's expected to be built up as a starter. So it's going to be a little bit before we see Marcus Stroman back. He's going to be a starter, I guess. I'm assuming they throw Yarbrough right back into that longman position, but he's expected to make a couple more rehab starts before he's recalled. Weaver threw his second bullpen session since the injury. He threw in Kansas City and has had no issues. And then Jake Cousins seems to have a UCL injury after his rehab assignment. They're looking for further opinions and further options. Aaron Boone was kind of like, I don't want to say Tommy John. You can see like by his demeanor, but it's likely Tommy John. So, we'll see. And then he'll throw a bullpen on June 7th. Aaron Boone said he has to make a handful more side sessions before they throw him into some live BP. So we'll see what happens there. And then roster update wise, after a long battle, Efros is finally back. Scott Efros was recalled, and Hedrick was sent down. So that's the roster and injury update, and that's your series recap. And I'm not going to do a true series preview for Boston. I'm going to do something like that tomorrow, a little short video. But that's really all I got for today. Pretty much, sums it up. The Yankees pitching was really good this series. Their 2 out hitting and their hitting with runners in position was very good. If they continue that, there's really no stopping the Yankees. So overall with the series, you're very happy, and you hope we can continue this going into the Boston series. The AL East is starting to tighten up. I think a lot of people thought it was pretty much done and it was a runaway for the Yankees, but the Blue Jays and the Rays have... Damn, I still got a bad cough, but the Blue Jays and the Rays are really starting to pick up their play. They're only a couple games back out of first place now, so. But that is where I'm going to end it today. I will have an update. I'll have a series update Sunday, probably Monday morning after. I think it's a 7 o'clock start on Sunday in Boston, so I'll likely have one Monday morning for after the Boston series. But that's what I got for today. So thank you for watching. Oh man, I'm dying. Thank you for watching. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and go Yankees.